Hi, welcome to Arkintel. Right now, Belarus has one of the strangest economies in Europe because depending on what you look at, the country either seems stable or completely stuck. In the first quarter of 2026, Belarus's unemployment rate fell to a historic low of just 2.3%. Normally, an economy with unemployment that low would be growing strongly, but economic growth in Belarus has slowed sharply so far in 2026. And that contradiction tells you almost everything about where the country is heading. This is not really a story about sudden collapse or financial panic. It's a story about an economy that still functions while gradually losing momentum underneath it. And the longer that continues, the harder it becomes to tell the difference between stability and stagnation. One reason Belarus still appears relatively stable in 2026 because the state still plays a massive role across the economy. The government heavily influences factories, banks, transportation, agriculture, energy, and industrial policy. Wage growth and production targets are still shaped through state direction, and in some ways, that model still delivers stability. Inflation remained 5.4% in April 2026. That's far below the extreme price surges many European economies experienced earlier this decade. Consumer spending has also held up better than most analysts expected. So, from the outside, the system can still look surprisingly resilient. But stability and momentum are not the same kind. Because real economic growth usually depends on movement. New industries expand, older industries modernize, investment shifts into more productive sectors. Businesses compete and adapt quickly. That process becomes slower when large parts of the economy depend heavily on administrative management instead of competition. And in Belarus, those limits are becoming more visible now. Industrial production in Belarus declined by 2.5% during the first 4 months of 2026. That matters because industry still plays a huge role inside the Belarusian economy. Many state factories still remain central to employment across entire regions of the country, and without stronger productivity growth, the economy becomes harder to push forward over time. Once output starts weakening inside a low-growth economy, maintaining stability gradually becomes harder too. Factories can continue operating under state support for a long time, but keeping production running is not the same thing as creating stronger growth. The system can still keep things functioning, but functioning alone is no longer creating meaningful momentum. One of the biggest economic pressures inside Belarus right now is labor itself. The country is starting to run short of workers. At first, record low unemployment sounds like excellent news, but unemployment this low can also signal something very different. There may simply not be enough available workers left inside the economy. Economists increasingly see labor shortages as one of Belarus's biggest structural constraints. Factories are struggling to expand production efficiently. Businesses are competing for workers in an already tight labor market, and wages continue rising faster than productivity in several sectors. Average monthly wages remained near 3,000 Belarusian rubles in April 2026. At first, rising wages help support the economy. People continue spending money. Retail demand stays active. Households feel some financial relief. But over time, another problem starts appearing. If wages rise faster than productivity for too long, companies gradually become more expensive to operate while becoming less competitive internationally. And that's part of the pressure Belarus is increasingly facing now. Some businesses are already struggling to replace experienced workers. And in certain industries, growth is starting to slow simply because there are not enough people available to expand production further. The economy still works, factories still operate, consumption still exists. But expanding the economy further is becoming harder because the system is running closer to its limits. There are fewer spare workers available. Productivity growth remains weak, and output growth is already slowing. It suggests the economy may be struggling to grow much beyond its current capacity. Another major reason Belarus avoided a deeper downturn is because Russia continues supporting large parts of its economy. Russian demand still helps sustain Belarusian exports, manufacturing activity, industrial production, and financing channels. That relationship became even more important after Belarus lost access to large parts of Western markets and investment flows. But in 2026, that dependence is becoming more uncomfortable because Russia's own economy is slowing down too. Growth this year is now expected to stay closer to just 0.5% to 1%. That's far weaker than the momentum seen during the earlier wartime expansion period. At the same time, Russia is also facing labor shortages, inflation pressure, weaker consumer demand, and rising fiscal strain. And that matters immediately for Belarus, because the Belarusian economy now has limited flexibility outside that relationship. If Russian demand weakens further, Belarus has very few alternative growth engines available at the same scale. That creates a difficult dynamic. Belarus increasingly depends on an economy that is also beginning to lose momentum. And that makes long-term planning harder for businesses and industries inside Belarus itself. Because when your biggest economic partner slows down, uncertainty spreads through the entire system. Industrial planning becomes harder, and growth starts depending even more on external conditions Belarus cannot fully control. And when both economies start slowing simultaneously, maintaining long-term stability becomes much harder. Belarus is no longer only dealing with its own slowdown, it is increasingly exposed to someone else's slowdown too. The difficult thing about stagnation is that it rarely feels dramatic while it's happening. People still go to work, stores still open normally, life continues. That's why stagnant economies can appear stable for very long periods of time. But slowly something changes. The economy stops feeling dynamic. The same industries continue carrying growth. The same structural problems remain unresolved, and fewer new opportunities begin appearing. Over time, people start noticing it. The future no longer feels bigger than the present. That may become Belarus's biggest challenge over the next several years. Not necessarily collapse, but a growing sense that the economy still functions without really moving forward anymore. And that changes how people think. Younger workers become less certain about their future. Businesses become more cautious about investing long term. And more talented workers begin looking elsewhere for opportunity. Because once an economy stops creating momentum, stability alone eventually stops feeling reassuring. It starts feeling limiting. And maybe that's the real challenge Belarus faces now. Not collapse, but an economy that still functions while slowly losing momentum. Because over time, stability means less if people stop feeling progress around them. Younger workers begin questioning their future. Businesses become more cautious about investing, and opportunity starts feeling harder to find. The economy still moves, just with less energy than before. And once that happens, countries can remain stuck for years, even when nothing visibly breaks at all. If you found this video insightful, check out Austria's economy is losing momentum, where we break down weak growth, rising pressure from inflation and energy costs, and why Austria's recovery remains fragile. Click the video to watch now.